I'm 36 years old. I run my own business and I regularly travel out of the city for work. And I haven't owned a car in the last 5 years. Not because I can't afford one, not because I lost my license, and not because I live in some massive city where public transit solves everything. I live in London, Ontario, Canada. And despite everything society tells us about adulthood, success, and what we're supposed to own, getting rid of my car may have been one of the best decisions I've ever made. In fact, I don't think most people ever stop to ask a simple question: do I actually need a car? Or have I just been told that I do? So, how did I end up here? Honestly, it wasn't some grand plan. Back in late 2021, I moved across the province to Northern Ontario. At the time, I thought I was going to spend a significant amount of time up there. So I packed up my life, drove everything north, settled in, and then came back to London for work in the holidays. Then, after Christmas, I made the drive back north. And about an hour or two before arriving, I got into a car accident. Thankfully, I was okay, but the vehicle wasn't. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I figured I'd eventually replace the car and move on with my life. But what happened next was interesting. I spent the winter up north and eventually realized that trying to run my business from there didn't make a lot of sense. Most of my clients, projects, and opportunities were down here in Southern Ontario. So in the spring, I packed everything into a U-Haul, moved back to London, found an apartment downtown, and started rebuilding my life here. And for whatever reason, I never replaced my car. At first, it was temporary. Then a few months passed. Then a year passed. And eventually I realized something. I didn't actually miss having a vehicle. Now, to be clear, I didn't move somewhere and suddenly became a public transit guy. I didn't move to New York City. I didn't move to Toronto. I live in London, Ontario, Canada. What I did do intentionally was choose where I lived. The gym is about a 10-minute walk from my apartment. And also, this building that I live in has, a mini gym. It's just treadmills and the basic stuff. But essentially, I chose to live just 10 minutes away from the gym. Also, there's a grocery store and a market with just in a few minute walk from my place. There's restaurants nearby. Most of the things I need on a daily basis are within walking distance. And for everything else, I rent a car. The rental place is just about a 15-minute walk away. If I have to go shoot with a client, head to Toronto, I regularly have to drive to Windsor, Grand Bend, Kitchener, Cambridge. I'm driving all over the place 2 or 3 times a month, and I'm renting a vehicle. If I have to visit family, attend an event, or travel for business, I grab a vehicle, use it for the day or two that I need it, and return it when I'm done. That's it. No maintenance, no oil changes, no winter tires, no surprise repairs, no worrying about whether something is making a weird noise, no wondering if I'm going to get hit with a $1,500 mechanic bill. Every time I pick up a rental car, it's clean, it's ready to go, and it's somebody else's problem. And when I'm done with it, I bring it back. What's funny is that before I was living this way, I assumed owning a vehicle was the cheaper and smarter option. But once I started looking at the actual numbers, I wasn't so sure anymore. Most months, I'm spending and I'm checking my finances every month with my business, and I'm running everything through my business. So I see the exact numbers every single month. And I spend on the most $200 to $300 on rentals. Some months less, some months a bit more, but honestly, not too much. But that's basically the total cost. Meanwhile, when you own a vehicle, you're dealing with a payment, insurance, maintenance, repairs, tires, depreciation, registration, fuel, and a whole list of things that people rarely think about when they're calculating what a car actually costs them. And for me, honestly, it's the time and the mental bandwidth that goes into it. Now, I'm not saying renting is always cheaper. For some people, it definitely isn't. If you're driving every single day, commuting long distances, have kids, or live somewhere rural, owning a vehicle probably makes a lot of sense. But for my life and where I currently live and chose to live, and for how often I actually need a vehicle, it hasn't made sense. The biggest benefit, honestly, isn't even financial. As I mentioned, it's mental. I never realized how much mental bandwidth owning a vehicle takes up until I stopped owning one. I don't think about maintenance schedules. I don't think about tire swaps. I don't think about repairs. I don't think about trade and value. I don't think about whether I should replace it. I don't think about whether I should upgrade it. It's one less thing in my life that requires attention. And for me, and right now in my life, attention and where I direct it is everything. And there's another benefit I didn't expect. When you have a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. And I think cars are kind of the same thing. When I owned a vehicle, everything felt within reach. A restaurant 20 minutes away? Sure, why not? A gym on the other side of town that has slightly better equipment? Sure, why not? An event that's not really that important? Okay, I'll go. It's not that far. Because I had a car, I never really questioned whether those things were worth doing. The transportation friction was basically zero. But when I stopped owning a vehicle, something interesting happened. I became a lot more intentional. Instead of asking, can I get there? I started asking, is it actually worth going? Do I really need to drive across the city for a burger that's 5% better? Do I really need to drive across the city to go to an event that, out of the last 3 times I've gone, I haven't really made a financial business endeavor with? Or am I just doing these and going to these places because it's easy? And what I found was that a surprising amount of the stuff I thought was important really wasn't. So removing the convenience actually forced me to be more deliberate about how I spent my time. And maybe that's the part I find most interesting, because growing up, I don't think anyone ever asked me if I needed a vehicle. The assumption was that getting a driver's license was just the next step of life. Like when you turn 16, you got your driver's license. That getting a car after that was the next step. And then getting a better car was the next step. Nobody really stopped to ask whether the vehicle was like solving a problem or simply like fulfilling an expectation. And for a lot of my life, I absolutely needed one. When I was younger, it gave me freedom. It helped me get to work. It helped me visit friends. It helped me build experiences. So I'm not like anti-car or anything, but I think a lot of people automatically accept that ownership without questioning whether it still makes sense for the life that they're living today. For me, at least right now, it doesn't. And it's actually like more restrictive owning one. And that's why 5 years later, I still haven't bought another vehicle. It's cheaper to rent. It's easier on my life, and I enjoy my life and my lifestyle. 5 years ago, I thought not owning a vehicle was very restrictive. Today, owning one feels restrictive. Maybe one day in the near future, I'll have kids. Maybe one day I'll need a vehicle again. But right now, the money I've saved, the headaches I've avoided, and the mental bandwidth I've gained have made not owning a car one of the best decisions I've made in my adult life. And honestly, I don't miss it at all. So if you're questioning buying a vehicle, you're, a young man, hopefully this helps you along your journey. If you enjoyed this video, appreciate you watching. See you in the next one.